There was no testimony today in the Karen Read trial. Sources telling WBZ's Kristina that Karen Read is sick. But we are still digging into the case tonight. The only witness we've seen this week is a state police sergeant. WBZ's Kristina is live for us in Dedham tonight with a look at what may come next. And Kristina, there are 3 witnesses in this case who may not be called.
Yeah, it's true, David. So Sergeant Yuri Buchanan has been on the stand for the last 3 days. And while he's testified about his own experience investigating this case, he's also testified about the experience of several other people involved in the case, too, which has raised many legal experts' thoughts that perhaps some key witnesses might not be called.
It's an interesting strategy from the Commonwealth.
There's a growing belief that the Commonwealth will not call these 3 men to the stand: Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, and former trooper Michael Proctor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
The 3 were key figures in Karen Read's first trial. Defense attorneys claim Brian Higgins or Albert could have killed John O'Keefe.
Pivotal to the defense theory.
WBZ legal analyst Catherine Loftus explains that prosecutors are likely taking a completely new approach by not calling them, leaving it up to defense attorneys to call those controversial witnesses.
If you want to put on your case and you want to blame people, you can do it. I don't need them for my case. I don't need to prove them. And if I put them on, they're just going to be bad for the Commonwealth.
But what about Michael Proctor? How could the state put on a case where the lead investigator doesn't testify?
You run the risk of looking like you're hiding the ball to the jury.
If prosecutors don't call any of these witnesses to the stand, defense attorneys will have the option to call them. And Karen Read's supporters believe her lawyers will.
They're going to be on the stand at some point. I have no doubt about it. Their time's not done yet.
What better witness for the defense than former Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor, fired in disgrace?
But the way defense lawyers can question those witnesses will be more challenging. If the defense calls them, they cannot ask leading questions of their own witnesses.
When you call your own witness, you can direct them. And that means narrative questions. You know, what happened? Who were you with? You know, can you explain this?
Why did you do that?
That's correct.
And defense attorneys would not be allowed to ask leading questions like we see them do on cross-examination now. An example would be a question like, so you threw away your phone because you wanted to hide evidence, right? That would not be allowed. Lisa and David?
Interesting. So, Kristina, is there any situation in which defense attorneys could ask those type of tough questions if they call these witnesses?
Yes, so there is one situation, and you've probably heard of the term hostile witness. So, for example, if someone like Brian Higgins took the stand for the defense and was testifying contrary to the defense's position or wasn't being cooperative or was being difficult on the stand, the defense could then ask the judge to declare him a hostile witness. And if the judge says yes, they could then ask him those tough leading questions. But that decision is ultimately up to the judge. David?
Wow, so many layers here. And Kristina, you're covering all of them. We appreciate what you do. Thank you. When the testimony resumes, you can watch it live on our streaming service, CBS News Boston, and you can catch full clips of any testimony that you missed on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com and search CBS News Boston. Lisa?